The match Eala never got to finish, and the storm waiting for her next. There is a scoreboard, and then there is the story hiding underneath it. On paper, Eala just walked into the third round of the Cincinnati Open with one of the most dominant performances of her season. But the reaction to that Saturday afternoon in Mason, Ohio isn't simple celebration. It's confusion. It's questions. Fans are asking how the match actually ended, why it stopped the way it did, and what that means for what's coming next. Because standing on the other side of the draw is a top 10 opponent who has never shared a court with her before, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this next match might be the biggest test of Eala's career so far. Stay with me, because the real story isn't the scoreline. It's what happens after it. Let's rebuild the picture properly, because there was a time when Eala walked onto tour-level courts as the promising teenager, talented, but not yet someone opponents feared. That version of her is gone. In her place is a 21-year-old carrying a career-high ranking into a WTA 1000 event, a first tour-level title already on her resume from Washington, and a target on her back that gets heavier with every deep run she makes. That shift changes everything about how a match like this one gets watched and remembered. When you go from being the hunter to being the hunted, even a routine early round win gets put under a microscope. And this one was anything but routine. Eala arrived in Cincinnati as the 17th seed, the highest seeding of her career at this level, after a first round bye gave her extra rest before her tournament opener. Her opponent, Romania's Elena-Gabriela Ruse, ranked well outside the top 70, had earned her spot by beating Magda Linette in straight sets. On paper, it looked winnable for Eala, but not a match she could take lightly, especially with history between them. Back in 2024, Ruse had beaten Eala in a tight 3-set battle. This was Eala's chance to answer that old result. Keep that in mind, because how this match actually ended is going to surprise you. The early signs did not favor Eala. Ruse broke her serve almost immediately, and for a moment it looked like the past might repeat itself. But this is exactly where the difference between the player she used to be and the player she's become became impossible to ignore. Instead of unraveling, Eala settled, found her rhythm, and started dictating from the baseline with her left-handed angles. 2 games in a row. Then 3. Then 4. What began as a shaky start turned into a commanding 6-1 first set that told its own story about composure under pressure. The second set followed the exact same pattern. Eala broke serve again, racing out to a 3-0 lead and putting the entire match firmly in her control. This wasn't Eala surviving pressure anymore. This was Eala creating it. Her serve pulled Ruse into awkward angles. Her aggressive return position took time away from Ruse's second serve. Her footwork looked sharp and efficient, not rushed. After giving up that early break, there was no panic in her body language at all, just a methodical rebuild, game after game, until she'd won 9 straight. And then, everything stopped. Not because of anything either player did, but because of something neither of them could control. Midway through the 4th game of the second set, Ruse called for a medical timeout to have her right ankle retaped. Play resumed briefly, and then officials suspended the match entirely as lightning moved into the area and the grounds were cleared. Both players walked off court with the match hanging in an uncertain pause, Eala still leading 6-1, 3-0. Here's where it gets interesting, and where a lot of casual viewers got confused. Officials initially said play could resume within the hour. But when that window came, Ruse did not return to the court. She retired from the match, unable to continue because of the ankle injury. And I want to explain this clearly instead of turning it into something mysterious, because there is nothing controversial about what happened here. In professional tennis, when a player cannot continue due to injury, the match is awarded to the player who remains able to play. No committee decision. No behind-the-scenes ruling. Eala was declared the winner because her opponent physically could not continue. That's it. The final score, 6-1, 3-0, reflects exactly where the match stood the moment Ruse withdrew. But here's what fans are still waiting on: what actually happens to Ruse now? As of this video, there's been no detailed public statement from her about the extent of the injury or how she's processing the way her Cincinnati run ended. The WTA confirmed the retirement and wished her a swift recovery, and Eala herself said in her press conference afterward that nobody enjoys finishing a match this way, wishing Ruse a speedy recovery of her own. That silence from Ruse isn't evidence of anything sinister. Athletes often take time before speaking after a physical setback. For now, the respectful move is to let her recover while the story moves forward. And it is about to move forward into something much bigger. Before we get to that, I need you to do one thing. If you didn't know this match ended on a retirement, or if this is the first time you're hearing exactly how professional tennis handles a walkover, hit subscribe right now, because what's coming for Alex Eala next is a matchup unlike anything she's faced this season, and you don't want to miss how it plays out. It costs you nothing, it takes 2 seconds, and it means you won't miss the next chapter of this story. Go ahead and tap it, then let's keep going. Let's talk about what this win against Ruse actually confirms, because the scoreline alone doesn't capture it. Eala's win leveled her head-to-head record with Ruse at 1 apiece, finally answering that old 2024 defeat, even if the rematch ended in a way nobody expected. She's now improved to 8 wins in her last 9 matches during this North American hardcourt swing. She already captured her first career tour-level title this season at the Washington Open, and followed it with a strong run to the 4th round of the Canadian Open before falling to former Olympic champion Belinda Bencic. Every one of these results adds another layer to a story that Filipino tennis fans have waited generations to see unfold. This isn't a promising junior anymore. This is a serious contender entering the same conversation as the sport's elite names. And that pride isn't abstract. It carries the hopes of young Filipino kids picking up a racket for the first time because they watched her compete on television. It carries the emotional weight of overseas Filipino workers checking match highlights on their phones between shifts, thousands of miles from home, feeling closer to the Philippines in that moment than at almost any other point in their day. Alex Eala has become one of those rare athletes whose success feels shared, not just watched. But pride alone doesn't win tennis matches. And the toughest test of her season so far is waiting for her right now. Standing across the net in the 3rd round is world number 10 Amanda Anisimova, the number 9 seed in Cincinnati, fresh off a straight sets win over Zeynep Sonmez. This is the 10th top 10 opponent Eala has faced this year alone, and it will be the first career meeting between the two of them. No head-to-head history. No previous script to lean on. Just 2 informed competitors meeting for the first time on one of the sport's biggest stages. Anisimova brings something Ruse didn't: explosive power, heavy ground strokes, and a ranking that reflects her ability to consistently trouble the best players in the world. This is a genuine step up in difficulty, and it raises a question nobody can answer yet. Was Eala's dominant start against Ruse a true sign of where her game is right now, or was it a favorable matchup that ended before it could really be tested? That uncertainty is exactly what makes the next match so compelling, and exactly why you'll want to already be subscribed when the result comes in. Here's what Eala will need to bring into that match. Her serve working with the same precision it showed against Ruse. Her aggressive return position creating pressure from the very first ball. And the same composure she displayed after falling behind early, except this time against a player who won't let her dictate freely. Anisimova can punish short balls and capitalize on the smallest openings, which means Eala's ability to absorb pace, change direction under pressure, and stay mentally locked in could decide whether her Cincinnati run takes another major step forward, or comes to an abrupt stop. Nothing about this next match is settled in advance. Anisimova has the ranking, the power, and the recent form to make this a genuine battle, and nobody who has followed Eala's rise this season is assuming anything is decided before the first point is even played. But here's what's already true, regardless of how that next match unfolds. Alex Eala